All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at a really interesting mix of AI news. We've got stories about possible AI influence and some pretty big political moves, some huge leaps forward in the gaming world thanks to AI, and even AI challenging our understanding of something as basic as fingerprints. Plus, we'll look at how AI is shaking up creative fields and dive into some complex questions around social AI and what it means for human connection. Should be a good one. So first up, we've got President Trump announcing some pretty sweeping new tariffs, like on most imported goods. And this is where it gets interesting. There are these reports popping up suggesting that an AI chatbot, maybe even ChatGPT, might have had a hand in coming up with the formula for these tariffs.
Yeah, that caught my eye too. What's really fascinating is how simple this formula seems to be. It looks like they're taking a country's trade deficit with the US, dividing that by their total imports, and then just cutting that number in half. It's a very, direct calculation, almost too simple, you know?
Right. And there's this story about a crypto trader, Kobe Fish, who actually asked ChatGPT to come up with a simple tariff calculation that would make trade more fair. And guess what? ChatGPT spits out a formula that's super similar to what's being reported. It definitely makes you wonder if that's how this whole thing got started.
I mean, it's certainly raising a lot of eyebrows, especially when you think about the potential impact of these tariffs on, well, everything. And even ChatGPT itself, when it was given that prompt, apparently gave a warning saying this kind of calculation doesn't consider all the complicated factors involved in international trade. Things like how much people are willing to buy at different prices, the possibility of other countries fighting back with their own tariffs, and all the intricacies of global supply chains.
It's definitely not as straightforward as just plugging some numbers into a simple formula. And Wojciech Kopchuk, who's the editor of the Journal of Public Economics, put it pretty bluntly. He basically said this approach is exactly what the dumbest kid in the class would do, without edits.
Yeah, that's not exactly a ringing endorsement. And, if you look at what this could mean, there are reports suggesting that trade with certain countries, like Iran, might not even be touched because there's no existing trade deficit.
Yeah.
It shows how limited this way of calculating tariffs really is.
Yeah, it's a very narrow view. And it's not just ChatGPT that's raising concerns. Apparently, Elon Musk's Grok AI came up with a pretty similar formula and also warned about all the potential problems, things like illogical outcomes, retaliation from other countries, and higher prices for everyone. And get this, Anthropic's Claude AI supposedly suggested something similar too, also with a bunch of warnings.
So it's like we've got this chorus of AI voices all saying, hold on a second, this might not be the best idea. And it
Right.
really highlights the potential downsides of relying on AI without, a good dose of human judgment and oversight. AI can crunch numbers, but understanding the bigger picture, that's still a human job.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting that this isn't the first time the White House has been accused of using AI in crafting policy. There were similar accusations about AI being used for executive orders in the past.
It seems like AI is becoming more and more integrated into how governments work, which is definitely something that needs to be watched closely. We need transparency, and we need to be really careful about unintended consequences.
For sure. And economists are, well, they're not mincing words either. Professor Thomas Sampson from the London School of Economics has been quoted as saying there's no economic rationale for doing this, and it will cost the global economy dearly. And you know what? The stock market seemed to agree. As soon as the announcement was made, there was an immediate negative reaction. So whether this was AI-driven or not, people are worried.
And it's understandable. I mean, think about it. You've got this incredibly complex system that is global trade, and then you have this really simple formula being proposed for something as significant as tariffs. That disconnect is what's alarming people.
It definitely seems like a mismatch. Okay, let's shift gears completely now and talk about something a little more fun: video games. Google DeepMind has created this AI system called Dreamer, and it's been blowing people's minds with how well it can play Minecraft. And get this, it learned all on its own, without any training or instructions from humans.
Yeah, I saw that. For those who haven't played it, Minecraft is this massively popular game where you basically explore, build things, and try to survive. It's sold over 300 million copies. And one of the big things in Minecraft is getting diamonds.
Oh yeah, diamonds are like the ultimate prize in the game, but it's not easy to find them.
Exactly. And that's what makes Dreamers so impressive. Unlike other AI attempts at Minecraft, which needed tons of human gameplay videos to learn from, Dreamer figured it out using reinforcement learning. It basically just played the game over and over, learning from its mistakes.
So it's like a kid just figuring things out by trying different things and seeing what works. Except this kid is an AI.
Precisely. And, getting diamonds in Minecraft isn't just about stumbling across them. It's a whole process. You have to find trees, turn wood into planks, then craft those planks into tools, build a crafting table, make a wooden pickaxe, and then, dig deep underground, avoiding all sorts of dangers, and hope you strike a diamond ore. It's not a walk in the park.
It's a whole sequence of steps.
Ah.
And Dreamer mastered it.
And it did it really efficiently. They basically had it play for about 9 days straight, with the game world resetting every half hour. And after all that, Dreamer was finding diamonds in under 30 minutes.
That's as good as a lot of human players.
It's actually amazing when you think about it. It had to build a kind of mental model of the game world in its AI brain and figure out how different actions would lead to different outcomes.
Like it's thinking ahead, planning its moves.
In a way, yeah. And this has some pretty big implications. The researchers are really excited about what this means for AI in general. The ability to learn and adapt in a complex environment without humans holding its hand, that's huge.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It makes you think about, like, robots that could respond to disasters or explore space, or even just factories that can work more efficiently. Who knew Minecraft could lead to all that?
That's the cool thing about this kind of research. The skills learned in a virtual world, even one made of blocks, can lay the groundwork for some really powerful, real-world applications. It's all about learning, adapting, and solving problems in unpredictable situations. And that's basically what people are talking about when they talk about general AI that's not limited to just one specific task.
And considering how influential Minecraft is, I mean, people spend tons of time and money on this game. Seeing an AI master it like this is a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. It really shows how far AI has come in terms of learning and problem solving within these really rich and engaging virtual environments.
Okay, let's jump over to the creative side of things now. Runway, the video AI company, just got a massive infusion of cash, $308 million to be exact. And this puts their value at a whopping $3 billion. You might remember Runway. They're the ones who launched that AI video generator last year.
Yeah, they're making waves. What's really interesting about this funding is what they're planning to do with it. They're not just scaling up their tech, they're also pouring money into AI model research and hiring people from the film industries, screenwriters, producers, editors, the whole shebang. It's like they're building a whole AI-powered film studio.
Right, and their CEO, Chris Valenzuela, is talking about speeding up film production like crazy. He wants to get to the point where they can make movies and videos as fast as they do on Saturday Night Live. From idea to finished product in just a few days.
Now, that would be a revolution in filmmaking. I mean, think about how long it takes to make a movie now. This could completely change the game. And it also makes you think about how companies like Getty Images are adapting to this new world of AI-generated content.
Getty Images, yeah, they're the ones with that huge library of photos and videos. They seem to be going in a different direction, right?
Exactly. They're focusing on being the go-to source for commercially safe and legal content. They're even in the process of buying Shutterstock. It's all about trust and reliability. Getty's chief product officer, Grant Farhall, has been pretty vocal about the risks of using AI-generated stuff that hasn't been properly checked and licensed. You could end up with all sorts of legal and brand problems.
So you've got Runway going all in on AI content creation, and Getty Images saying, hold on, let's make sure this is all legal, it's above board. It's an interesting dynamic.
For sure. It shows how AI is disrupting things, but also how the industry is trying to figure out how to manage this new technology, especially when it comes to things like copyright and intellectual property.
Now get ready for this one. This is a story that could completely change how we think about forensics. A new study from Columbia Engineering and the University of Buffalo is challenging something that's been considered a basic fact for over a century. The uniqueness of human fingerprints.
This one really caught my attention. For decades, fingerprint analysis has been a cornerstone of law enforcement. The whole system is built on the idea that every single person have unique fingerprints, even on different fingers of the same hand. But this new research is suggesting that might not be entirely true.
Wait, so you're saying our fingerprints might not be as unique as we thought?
That's what this research is suggesting. They used an AI model and trained it on a huge database of fingerprints, something like 60,000 of them. And guess what? The AI was able to find similarities between fingerprints from different fingers of the same person. It had an accuracy of about 77% when comparing just two fingerprints, and that accuracy went up when they compared more samples.
That's a pretty big deal if it's true. I mean, that's like shaking the foundations of forensic science.
It is. The way fingerprint analysis has always been done is by focusing on what are called minutiae. These are tiny details in the ridges, like where a ridge ends or splits. But this AI took a different approach. It was looking at the angles, curves, and the central loop patterns. It's almost like we as humans have been focusing on the wrong things.
Wow. So what does this mean for, like, solving crimes?
Well, it could be huge, especially for cases where the fingerprints are smudged or incomplete. Imagine being able to link prints that were previously considered unrelated. This could help solve cold cases, maybe even exonerate people who are wrongly convicted.
That's incredible, but I bet a lot of people in the forensics world are pushing back on this.
Oh, absolutely. When the researchers tried to publish their findings in forensic science journals, they were met with a lot of skepticism. It's understandable, right? This challenges a core belief of their field. But eventually, the study was published in Science Advances, which is a very reputable journal, so the scientific community is taking it seriously.
It really shows how AI can uncover patterns in data that we humans might completely miss. And it's not just about overturning old ideas, it's about creating new tools.
Exactly. The researchers are talking about developing AI tools that could make forensic investigations more accurate and efficient. And they're emphasizing the importance of using really large and diverse data sets to make sure the AI isn't biased.
So it's not about replacing human investigators, it's about giving them a powerful new tool. And it's really cool that an undergraduate student, Gabe Gual, was a lead researcher on this project. It shows how AI is opening up opportunities for people from all backgrounds to make significant contributions to science.
Absolutely. It's democratizing scientific discovery.
Okay, let's talk about something that's becoming more and more relevant every day. Social AI. We're seeing all these AI systems that are designed to be companions, even friends. It's blurring the lines between technology and human interaction.
It is. And this is raising some big questions about what it means to connect with someone or something. I mean, Bill Gates has even predicted that AI could take on roles that go beyond things like education and healthcare. He thinks AI could eventually play a significant role in our social lives. And then there's Jaron Lanier, who's a big thinker in the tech world, and he's asking a really provocative question. What's more valuable, a relationship with a real person or a relationship with an AI?
Those are some heavy questions. And it's not just theoretical anymore. There are platforms like Replica and Character that have millions of people using them every month to connect with AI companions.
It's a growing trend, and it's sparking this debate about whether these AI interactions are ultimately good or bad for us as social beings. Some people, like Eugenia Kuda, who created Replica, believe that AI companions can offer a new and valid form of connection. But there are also a lot of critics who are worried that spending all this time with AI is going to lead to more isolation and loneliness in the real world.
And there's some pretty striking examples in the news. There was a story about a woman who said she had a boyfriend who was powered by ChatGPT. And then there was that really sad case of a teenager who formed a close bond with an AI friend, which ended tragically.
Yeah, those stories are definitely unsettling. And sociologist Alison Pugh, she's been studying this, and she warns about the danger of missing out on those precious moments of being seen by another human being. There's something unique and irreplaceable about human connection that AI just can't replicate.
And it's becoming more and more common to see social AI integrated into social media. Meta is adding AI characters to their platforms, and Snapchat has its My AI feature. It's becoming normalized. And Pew told the story about a child who was so excited about something they had achieved, but there was no one there to share it with except their AI companion. It makes you think about what we're losing when we substitute real human interaction for a simulated version.
That story really highlights the difference. Social AI can give you responses, but it can't truly share an experience with you. And it also raises concerns about the kind of relationships we're becoming accustomed to. I mean, social AI is designed to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to basically give you what you want. It's a very controlled experience.
So the worry is that we'll get so used to these perfectly pleasant AI interactions that we'll lose our tolerance for the messiness and unpredictability of real relationships.
Right. Lanier argues that real connection, real growth, comes from engaging with someone who's different from you, someone who challenges you. It's about that process of discovery and negotiation that you just don't get with an AI that's programmed to please you.
But there's some more positive examples out there too, right? Like that Iris social robot that's being used in group therapy. Apparently, its little quirks actually help to bring the patients closer together.
Yeah, that's an interesting case. And there are researchers like David Crandall and Wesley Koo who believe that social AI can actually enhance our human relationships, not replace them. It's about finding the right balance.
So it's not a simple black and white issue. It's complicated. Social AI has the potential to help us connect in new ways, but it also has the potential to further isolate us in a world that's already becoming increasingly fragmented. Well, that was a lot to take in. From global trade to the very nature of companionship, AI is touching every aspect of our lives. It's mind-blowing, really. What are your thoughts on all of this? What stands out to you the most? Are you more excited about AI transforming things like filmmaking and forensics, or are you more concerned about the impact of social AI on how we connect with each other? There's no easy answers, but it's definitely a conversation worth having. Thanks for diving deep with us today.